This conference will now be recorded.
Let me start the today's session. Yesterday, we had a discussion about features of the Python programming language. Today, just today morning, one student shared his experience in one of the interview. They asked one question which we covered under the heading called features of Python. He was attended one interview and he called me. Sir, they asked one question called dynamically typed programming language means what? Dynamically typed programming language means what? Can you please explain in detail about this feature? Yesterday, when I am explaining the features of Python, maybe some of the people are feeling bored and they are feeling that that is not that much important. Just today, I received the feedback from one of my students saying that the same question was repeated in the interview. Explain dynamically typed programming language. So, can you please repeat with me, everyone, what are the features of Python programming language? Just heading part only. Then after we will move to very fundamental topic which is required. If you want to write one basic program in Python, the basic fundamental concept what is required, that part we are going to cover. What are the features? Learning Python is simple, and Python is very simple, and learning Python is very easy. Second one, Python programs are platform independent, and Python programs are portable. Irrespective of the CPU architecture, it is going to produce the same result on any platform. Python is a freeware. Without paying even single rupee from www.python.org, happily we can download the Python software. Python program or Python is maintained by Python Software Foundation. They are not going to collect even single rupee from anyone. Python is open source. Python is open source. Suppose if you want to customize the Python, if you want to make any changes to the Python program itself, if you want to customize the Python to meet your requirement, who is the father of Python? Guido van Rossum. Guido van Rossum and Guido van Rossum. So the official date of birth is nothing but 20th Feb 1991. At the time of developing the Python programming language, so the source code is it is opened to everyone. Anybody can access, and you can see the way how Python programming language was implemented by Guido van Rossum, and you can customize to meet your requirements. Now, have you ever heard about Windows operating system? Sir, it was actually designed by Microsoft people. Microsoft Windows operating system. Now tell me, tomorrow I want to make some changes to the Windows operating system, and I want to release Pavan version of Windows operating system I want to create. Is it possible? Can I customize Windows operating system given by the Microsoft people? Not at all possible, because Windows operating system is not open source, but Unix operating system is a open source. So you heard about Linux, sir. Unix is open source. Because of that, you can customize the Unix to meet your requirements. So that is something called open source operating system. Next one, Python is interpreted programming language. Python is interpreted programming language. So when you write any source code and hand it over to the interpreter, interpreter will convert that into mission understandable code, one after another, one statement after another statement. So the most valuable important feature of Python is dynamically typed programming language. Sir, what is mean by dynamically typed programming? Your C, C++, Java, they are all statically typed programming languages they are. Sir, what is mean by statically typed programming language? For example, I am creating one variable. So those who are attending the session and do not have any knowledge in the programming, don't worry. What is a variable and what is a data type? Very soon we are going to cover that part also. Maybe this part you may feel difficulty because you are not having any programming knowledge. So average is a variable. I'm going to store some value called 20.56. In our C, C++, Java, this type of variable declaration is a wrong one. This type of declaration is a wrong one. You should not declare a variable like this. Compulsory, you have to specify data type. You have to specify data type. Is it a float? Is it a double? Compulsory, you have to specify the data type. So in any program, for the declaration of variable, data type is compulsory. Such a type of language we can call it as a statically typed programming language. Coming to the Python, sir, coming to the Python, assume why Guido van Rossum developed this language as a dynamically typed programming language. What is the reason? What is the reason behind implementing or adding this feature? Implementing or adding this feature as a dynamically typed. Assume I wrote one project. Assume I wrote or I developed one project contains some 50,000 lines of code. Some 50,000 lines of code. I have a flexibility. Wherever variable is required, I can create a variable. Suppose at this line, I require one variable, faculty variable, name of the variable faculty, and the data inside that is Pawan. Faculty name is Pawan. So string, let me declare string. Let me declare the type of this variable is a string. Let me declare the type of the variable is a string. Once the data type is fixed as a string, suddenly according to the client requirement, I am supposed to change the data type name. According to the client requirement, I need to change the data type name. Out of 50,000 lines of code, you have to search for where exactly this variable was, and we need to search that line. Then we have to change. Its data type from string to, assume client requirement is integer. Then I have to make some change called integer. So నువ్వు డెవలప్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఎక్కడో ప్రాజెక్ట్ మధ్యలో ఫ్యాకల్టీ అనే వేరియబుల్ ఉంటే దాన్ని నువ్వు స్ట్రింగ్ డేటా టైప్ గా డిక్లేర్ చేస్తే క్లయింట్ దాన్ని సడన్ గా ఇంటీజర్ గా మార్చమంటే ఈ వేరియబుల్ ఎక్కడ ఉంది, ప్రీవియస్లీ ఇది ఏ డేటా టైపు, దాన్ని ఇప్పుడు నేను ఇంటీజర్ అని డిక్లేర్ చేస్తే పవన్ అనే డేటాని యాక్సెప్ట్ చేస్తుందా లేదా? we need to think about all these details. Then after seeing the total story, Guido van Rossum decided always developers has to think about the coding part. They should not worry about the data type. డెవలపర్ అనేవాడు కోడింగ్ మీద మాత్రమే కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేయాలి, కానీ ఈ డేటా టైప్ డిక్లరేషన్స్ వీటి మీద కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేస్తే కోడింగ్ పార్ట్ నుంచి డీవియేట్ అయిపోతారని. సో Guido van Rossum took the decision. Hello developer, hello programmer, whoever wants to create a variable in our Python, you are not required to specify the data type. The value which you are storing in this variable, based on the type of data, we will take the decision and we will consider the data type of the variable internally. You are not required to worry too much. Is the point was clear? Why it is a dynamically typed programming language? Clear? Now, so in Python, if you want to create any variable, simply you can create the variable like this. You are not required to specify the data type. I will show you one problem also. In the same interview, they asked one more question. Can you please tell me what is the problem with statically typed programming language? What is the question? First question they asked, can you please explain briefly about a dynamically typed programming language? Immediately the same interviewer asked that, what is the drawback with the statically typed programming language? So let me tell you what is the drawback. Assume I'm writing some line of statement in Java. In Java, I want to create one variable, string faculty equals to something called Pawan sir. Now, once if you decide the type of the variable as a string, so somewhere in the project, is it possible for me to store double data type or not? Anyone tell me? Anyone, can you please tell me, once it is declared as a string data type, will it allow me to store double value? If you have any doubt, let me open Java environment, JShell environment, JShell environment. Like Python shell, we have something called a Java shell also, where we can write short pieces of code to test whether it is correct according to the Java environment or not. జావాలో కూడా రీసెంట్ గా 2018 లో ఎలా అయితే పైథాన్ లో మనకు ఒక పైథాన్ షెల్ ఉండి ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాయకుండానే మనం చిన్న చిన్న లైన్ ఆఫ్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ రన్ చేయొచ్చు, సేమ్ ఫీచర్ ని జావా కూడా కాపీ కొట్టి ఒక 9th వర్షన్ లో ఈ ఫీచర్ ని ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేశారు. దాన్నే జేషెల్ అంటారు. సో జావా పీపుల్ ఇంట్రడ్యూస్డ్ the same feature maybe in Java 9th version. I think it was released in 2018. Let me show you. String faculty equals to so faculty variable was created with the Pawan sir. It is not Python shell, it is a J shell, means Java environment. Now tomorrow if I want to store 10.25 which is a double data type, hello boss, what you are thinking yourself, how can I convert this double into string type? Double can't be converted to string type. This is the major problem with the statically typed programming language. Now you may have a confusion. What is the specialty of Python? Let me show you. Sir, same variable called faculty equals to Pawan sir. Now anyone tell me, in Python internally this variable is going to treat like which type? Based on the type of data type is decided. Now tell me, this variable is treated like which type? String type. Assume suddenly my requirement got changed. I want to store 25.69. Whether it is possible or not possible? Any idea whether it is possible or not possible? Faculty equals to 25.69. Definitely it is possible, no doubt at all. Sir, what is the reason? Because at the time of creating the variable, I didn't declare the data type. నేను డేటా టైప్ ఇచ్చి నేనేమి లాక్ చేయలేదు. డేటా టైప్ తో లాక్ చేసి ఉంటే ఖచ్చితంగా ఆ టైప్ ఆఫ్ డేటానే మీరు స్టోర్ చేయాల్సి ఉండేది. I didn't declare the variable with data type because in Python you are not required to specify the data type name. Then happily now faculty is going to be treated like a float data type. Tomorrow I want to store some complex numbers, sir. Tomorrow I want to store some complex number. Now observe that same faculty is now treated like a complex type. So how flexibility we have in Python. Now tell me, will you accept dynamically typed programming language is going to be helpful or not? It is a helpful phenomena, useful, extraordinary feature or not? Definitely. So we can overcome the drawback of statically typed programming language with a concept of the dynamically typed programming language. Now, what is the another feature? What is the another feature? It is something called a not possible. So what is another feature? When anybody will ask you, sir, what is the Python? Before discussing 8th point, one more point I want to cover. Now, sir, int x equals to 1 2 5 6 7 8 9 1 2 4 5 6 7 8 9 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 1 2 3 4 5 6. What is saying that? Boss, what you are thinking? X is a very smaller variable. How you can store this much bigger value? Integer number is too large. We can't accommodate this much bigger value in variable X, like you are getting error in case of the Java environment. Now, can we do the same thing? In Python? X equals to 999 999 999, like that. Even any bigger value happily you can store. So really, is this much bigger value really stored in the X? Observe that. You got the same number or not? Now tell me once again, Python is very helpful in developing several applications. So these type of beautiful features, so makes learning Python is very easy. Now coming to the point number 8. Sir, what is the point number 8? If anybody will ask you what is C? C is a procedure orientation. Everything we should write inside a function only. You can't find the concept called class and object. Sir, something called, you can't find object oriented features. C language lo manam emana miss avutunnama ante object oriented features ni miss avutunnam. Now coming to the Java, what is Java? Java is something nothing but object oriented programming language. But what is missing in Java? Procedure oriented features we are missing. So if you take any language, so if you are having one thing, you are going to miss another thing. But coming to the Python, sir, Python can have procedure oriented features and also object oriented features and also scripting features and also modular programming features. Everything is implemented in Python by the Gudo van Rossum at the time of developing this beautiful programming language. So that my conclusion is Python is all-rounder. Every feature you are going to get from the Python. So in that way, Gudo van Rossum was implemented. Now the next one, sir, Python is general purpose high level programming language. Python is a general purpose high level programming language. So if you observe very carefully, in which domains, especially nowadays, people are using Python, you go and ask anyone, or you can type it in Google also, in which domains Python is using, you are going to get n number of options to develop machine learning applications, to develop artificial intelligence applications, to develop IoT application, Internet of Things application, to develop network applications, even to implement games also, etc. Python is designed to be used in several domains. Python is used Python is designed to be used in several domains, right? So some people are asking, can you please tell me what is the procedure orientation, object orientation? This is not the right place. Generally, when you come to the advanced Python course, first 3 to 4 classes we are going to discuss. It is not a 1 minute explanation. It is not a 1 minute explanation. Minimum 2 to 3 hours we are supposed to talk about to understand what is procedure orientation, difference between object oriented. Just listen, that's it. Okay, it is not a 1 or 2 minutes explanation. If it is 1 or 2 minutes, definitely I can, right? I hope everyone can understand the problem. So it is a general purpose high level programming language. So what is general purpose? So Python is designed to be used in several domains. That is the reason it is a general purpose high level programming language. Now extensible, and also Python is embedded. Python is having extensive library support. These are the several features we covered very clearly in the last session. Now let us start very fundamentals which are required to write any basic program in Python. Now the question is, before moving to that part, let me ask you one question. Why do we write a program? Generally to process the data. We will write a program to process the data. The data may be a student information, employee information, or any train information, account information, book details, anything. If I want to process the data, we are supposed to write some group of instruction in computer language. Generally, in any programming language, general layman terminology, what is a program? Program is a collection or group of instructions. Using those group of instruction, I am going to process the data. Now in computer, where do we store the data? In computer, where do we store the data? As you all know, very simple, it is going to be stored somewhere in the memory. Now the question is, assume it is your memory block in the computer. So you can assume like your memory is nothing but, your computer memory is nothing but like an Excel sheet having some rows and columns. Assume like that. For better understanding or for easy understanding, you have to assume it is like a Excel sheet. Assume for one Python program, I have given one employee ID as a input. 1279 is the ID given to one employee by their company. So for one Python program, Python program at a runtime, at the time of executing or at the time of running the Python program asked me, hello user, can you please enter one ID of the employee? I have given 127. Now this 127 computer is going to store internally in the memory because it is the data. Sir, whatever the data given to the program, it is going to be stored somewhere in the memory. Assume this data was copied in this memory block. Now assume this data was copied in this memory block. Now in the program, exactly at this line, I want to run some business logic. Sir, exactly at this place, I want to run some business logic on this data called 1279. Now my doubt is, how can I fetch the data already stored in the memory to the Python program? How can I bring the data stored in the memory block into the Python program? నేను రన్ టైమ్ లో ఇచ్చిన ఇన్పుట్ ని కంప్యూటర్ మెమరీ బ్లాక్ లో స్టోర్ చేసింది. Assume at somewhere I have a requirement, I want to run some business logic on this data. How can I bring that data into my Python program? So for that, usually we will do something like this: employee id equals to 1279, like we are going to write in the program. In any program, usually even in our mathematics also, we will write something like x equals to 5, y equals to 3. Am I correct or not? In the same way, in our program, if you write eid equals to 1279, do you know what is the meaning? Hello computer, you can store this data anywhere in the memory block. I don't have any objection. For your kind information, wherever you can store this data for that memory block, can you please give this a name? Can you please give this a name? This name is going to be used to refer this memory block holding the data. ఈ మెమరీ బ్లాక్ లో ఏదైతే డేటా స్టోర్ అయిందో, త్రూ అవుట్ మెమరీలో నువ్వు ఎక్కడ ఖాళీ ఉంటే అక్కడ మెమరీ బ్లాక్ లో డేటాని స్టోర్ చేయి, నాకు ఎటువంటి అబ్జెక్షన్ లేదు. బట్ నువ్వు ఏ మెమరీ బ్లాక్ లో అయితే డేటాని స్టోర్ చేస్తున్నావో ఆ మెమరీ బ్లాక్ నేను ఎప్పుడైనా రిఫర్ చేయాలన్నా, దాంట్లో ఉన్న డేటాని బయటికి తీసుకురావాలన్నా, లేకపోతే నేను ఏదైనా మోడిఫికేషన్స్ చేయాలన్నా, ఐ కెన్ యూజ్ దిస్ నేమ్. కెన్ యూ ప్లీజ్ అసైన్ దట్ నేమ్ టు దట్ మెమరీ బ్లాక్? నౌ from this explanation, I came to know that one point particularly. So while writing the program, we have a requirement. While writing the program, we have a requirement to give names to some elements. Am I correct or not? ఈ ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ అంతా విన్న తర్వాత పైథాన్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ లో కొన్ని ఎలిమెంట్స్ కి మనం నేమ్ ఇవ్వాల్సిన అవసరం ఉంటుంది. సో ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ వాట్ ఐ కేమ్ టు నో దట్ at the time of writing a program, we have a requirement to give a name to some elements. Now remember, in any programming language, named elements are referred as identifier. What is that? Named elements are referred as identifier. So what is the next one? What is the next one? In any programming language, including Python also, in any programming language, named elements are referred as what? Identifier. Referred as what? Identifier. One simple example: assume the session is going on. Assume the session is already going on. Someone by mistake enabled their mic. I will open the dashboard of this GoToMeeting app. I will open the dashboard so I can see the name of the student who enabled the mic, and I can give some warning message. Hello, some Rahul, you enabled your mic. Please make sure that your mic must be in the mute mode throughout the session. To identify that particular attendee who enabled the mic, what I have used? Name of the student only. Sir, assume in a class I have a work with one student. I want to call him. How can I call him? With his name only. So always name is used for identification purpose. Always name is used for what? Identification purpose. So in the Python program, we have a requirement for some elements. We are supposed to give name, and any named element in the program, we refer them as identifiers. Now immediately you may ask one doubt. So sir, for which elements generally we are supposed to give the name? For example, for variables we are supposed to give the name. For functions we are supposed to give the name. For a class we are supposed to give the name. But don't ask me what is a function, what is a class, what is a variable. So just a few minutes back I have given one explanation. Sir, somewhere in the memory block, some memory block is holding some data called 1279. Assume I have given some name called EID. We can assume this like a variable. Name given to the memory block holding the data. Sir, this EID you can refer, it is a variable. Sir, it is a variable. So for variables, we are supposed to give the name. For functions, we are supposed to give the name. For classes, we are supposed to give the name. Now the question is, sir, I came to know that for some elements, we are supposed to give the name. Now what is my doubt is, can I give the name as per my choice, or am I required to follow any rules strictly given by the Python? నా ఇష్టం వచ్చిన స్టైల్లో నేను ఐడెంటిఫైర్ కి నేమ్ ఇవ్వచ్చా? కంపల్సరీ పైథాన్ ప్రపోజ్ చేసిన రూల్స్ ని ఫాలో అవ్వాలంటే డెఫినెట్లీ యూ హ్యావ్ టు ఫాలో రూల్స్ ఫ్రేమ్డ్ బై ద పైథాన్. నౌ ద నెక్స్ట్ టాపిక్ ఈజ్, వాట్ ద నెక్స్ట్ టాపిక్? రూల్స్ ఫర్ నేమింగ్. Rules for naming. Now the first rule, if you want to assign a name to a variable or to a function or to a class, the first point what you have to keep it in mind, first letter must be an alphabet, or you can give one special symbol also, which is nothing but underscore. What is the first letter? First letter alphabet only allowed, underscore also allowed. Other than that, anything is not acceptable. Sir, can you please prove that? X equals to 25. Sir, what is X? X is a, what is X? X is a name given to the variable. Now this name contains how many letters? Only one letter, first letter. First letter, is it alphabet or not? Yes, it is alphabet only. Assume I want to store marks of student 1. Student 1. Now first student marks is 99. Sir, can I give name that will start with a digit, sir? Can I give name that will start with a digit? According to your first rule, it is not acceptable. Have a look once. Syntax error. Syntax error. So always first letter must be an alphabet. Underscore also allowed. Let me check. Underscore X equals to 99. Acceptable? Yes, it is acceptable. But my suggestion, note point, highly recommended not to use underscore as a first letter. Sir, this recommendation is from me, not from Python. Python has given a flexibility. You can use underscore as a first letter. This is my recommendation. Sir, why you are not recommending to use underscore as a first letter? Maybe with the time being you are going to understand. Definitely at somewhere we are going to discuss, but this is not the right time to discuss. Just keep it in mind. This is my recommendation only. Python will allow you to use underscore as a first letter. Now the second one. From second letter onwards, can I have any rules and regulation? From second letter onwards, what is acceptable? Alpha numeric is acceptable. From second letter onwards, what is acceptable? Alpha numeric. What is the meaning? In the name, from the second letter, it may be a alphabet or it may be a digit also. First letter digit ఉండకూడదు. Second letter నుంచి digit acceptable. Alphabet also acceptable. Sir, can you please show me whether it is the right or wrong? Student 1 or student 5. Otherwise, student 5. Marks is 100 out of 100. Now what is student 5? It is the name given to a variable. First letter alphabet, second letter alphabet, third letter alphabet. Somewhere I am using digit also. Is it accepting the digit or not? Definitely. Why not? Sorry, X1 second letter itself is a digit. 12.5 acceptable or not? Definitely it is acceptable, no doubt at all. Now the next one. Now the next one. 1 minute. Within the name, no spaces, comma, special symbols are allowed. No spaces are allowed. No special symbols are allowed. No spaces are allowed. No special symbols are allowed. So it should not allow the spaces. It should not allow the special symbols also. Now let me check whether it is right or wrong. I want to store CSC branch strength. Sir, CSC branch strength equals to 66 members. In a class, the branch is CSC, strength is 66. Now, what is this? It is the name I am giving to a variable, but I am giving some space within the name. Is it accepted? Is it a valida, invalida? Have a look once. Have a look once. Syntax error you got. So it won't allow any space. Now CSC dollar, sir, CSC dollar marks equals to 45. Acceptable? No special symbol is allowed. No space is also allowed. No spaces is allowed. No special symbol is allowed. Clear the point? Is the point was clear for everyone? Now the next one. Except one symbol. Except one symbol. Except one symbol. That symbol is nothing but underscore. Underscore is acceptable. For example, vehicle registration number equals to AP07 BZ1234. 1234. So vehicle underscore registration underscore number, it is the name I am giving to a variable, but within the name I am using one special symbol underscore. Underscore is the only special symbol acceptable. Am I getting any error? I didn't get any error. It is acceptable. Now the next one. What is the next one? Python is a case sensitive language. Sir, Python is a case sensitive. What is a case sensitive? Lowercase and uppercase letters are treated differently. Sir, lowercase and uppercase letters are treated differently. Clear, right? What is lowercase? What is the use of underscore? It is all up to you. Python has given one flexibility. Python has enabled and has given one flexibility. If you want, you can use it. Generally, underscore symbol is used to club two words. So to club two words, underscore is specifically used. Generally, commonly used symbol. Now, Python is case sensitive. Lowercase and uppercase letters are treated differently. Sir, what is the meaning of treating differently? Let me explain. A equals to 25. Now A plus 10. What is the result? Anyone tell me? A equals to 25. To the A, I am just adding 10. What is the result? Output or error? Anyone tell me? Whether I get output or error? Definitely I am going to get an error. What is the reason? Hello boss, you declared one variable with the lowercase. I don't know what is this name called capital A. What is this name called capital A? You are assuming that A and A both are same. This is your assumption. Python will never treat them as a same symbol. Python can treat lowercase and uppercase letters completely differently. It is something called case sensitive language. Case sensitive language. Now, so this is the perfect example for case sensitive language. Now let me copy this. Let me paste it here. No spaces, no special symbols are allowed. For this, this is the best example. Let me copy this. Underscore is acceptable. So for that, it is the best example. Underscore is acceptable. For that, it is the best example. From second letter onwards, alphanumeric. Alphanumeric. Sir, these two things are the best example for from second letter onwards, alphanumeric. No spaces are allowed within the name. No space. So this is the best example. Let me copy, let me paste it here. So it is easy for you to refer the running notes. Sir, first letter must be an alphabet. No. I will use first letter as a digit. What is happening? You are going to get an error. You are going to get an error. So this is the best example. Now anyone tell me the next one. Next one, before discussing the next point, let me ask, can we practice some examples? So can you please tell me the following identifier, valida, invalida? Your answer must be, if it is valid, type V, if it is invalid, type I. Are you ready? Can I ask you few questions like, it's like a practice session on the identifier, or are you feeling it is a waste of time? Why should we have to spend for naming an identifier also? Now, bond 007, bond 007, valida, invalida? First letter alphabet, first letter alphabet, remaining all things are alphanumeric, no space, no special symbol, nothing. So absolutely valid. A1, B2, C3, valida, invalida? A1, B2, C3, valida, invalida? Definitely it is also valid. Now 125 marks, 125 marks, valida, invalida? Sir, it is invalid. It is invalid. Not at all correct. It is invalid. Now, range of values, range of values, valida, invalida? Range of values, valida, invalida? It is valid. It is valid. Now, price, price hyphen in rupees, in rupees, price in rupees, is it valid or invalid? It is invalid. Hyphen is a special symbol. Hyphen is a special symbol, not allowed, not allowed. So sugar quantity, valida, invalida? It is invalid because spaces are not allowed, because the spaces are not allowed. Now except, valida, invalida? Except, valida, invalida? Unfortunately it is invalid. It is invalid. Sir, can you please show me, really is it invalid? Definitely. Why not? Except equals to 45. What is saying that even though I am following all the rules and regulation, it is giving some warning, syntax error. What is the reason? Let me tell you. The reason is one simple example. You went to a hotel. Sir, there are some tables are there. Table 1, table 2, table 3, some table 4. So on the table 3, server kept one board. It is reserved. Server kept one board. It is reserved. Now the question is, can I occupy? Can I occupy this table? Am I allowed to occupy this table? as it is reserved. Am I allowed to occupy this table? You are not allowed. So in hotel, generally when some table is reserved by someone, you are not allowed to occupy, you are not allowed to use. In the same way, Guido van Rossum, at the time of developing the Python programming language, for internal purpose, he reserved around 36 keywords, around 36 words for internal purpose. లాంగ్వేజ్ డెవలప్ చేసేటప్పుడు కొన్ని అవసరాల కోసం లేదా ఒక స్పెసిఫిక్ రీజన్ కోసం గుడో వాన్ రోసము కొన్ని పదాలు రిజర్వ్ చేసి పెట్టుకున్నాడు. సుమారుగా 36 వర్డ్స్. దీస్ వర్డ్స్ ఆర్ నథింగ్ బట్ రిజర్వ్డ్ వర్డ్స్. we can call them as a keyword also. We can call them as a keyword. It is something like a reserved word. Keywords can't be used for naming purpose. So what is the last rule? Anyone tell me what is the last rule? Keyword can't be used for naming purpose. Sir, is really except is a keyword? Is really except is a keyword? Do you have any proof? Like if you ask me one code I am going to write, don't ask me what I am writing. Now, do you know what is this line? I am asking, hello Python, I know you have some list of keywords. Can you please cross check, is there any keyword matches with the name called except? Python is replying me, correct only boss, true only. In the list of keywords we have something called except. Do you want to see all the list of keywords? We can write one program. For every element in the keyword list, print f. Very soon you are going to understand what is this code, but don't ask me right now what is this. You may not understand anything. Now total I got 35. Not 36. Total I got 35 only. I got 35 keywords only. Let me copy all these list of keywords along with the code also. Let me copy all the list of codes, may be helpful for you at somewhere. Code, Python code to get all list of keywords. Following is the code to get all the list of keywords. So is there any keyword with the name called except? Yes, already we have a keyword called except keyword, right? That's all from end for today's session.